What's up everyone? I'm going to compare the Dexley chair versus the Hyken chair, two of Staples' most popular office chairs, and I want to get into the nitty-gritty details comparing these chairs because I don't think there's a lot of stuff online to help inform your decision. So start off, let's take a look at the Hyken. This is one of Staples' most popular chairs, like I said. It's typically best for folks who are shorter than 5'10", some people say 5'9". Typically, if you're shorter, you're gonna really like this chair. I'm 6 foot. You can see my legs sort of go over the Hyken chair, which means that it's not as comfortable long term, especially for folks who may be even taller or bigger than I am. Sitting back though, my posture feels a lot better than the Dexley chair, and you'll notice that in a bit. You can raise and lower the chair like so. You can sort of see where my feet are at the lowest setting. I'm raising it to the highest setting there, and my feet are flat. Looks like a perfect 90-degree angle and feeling good overall. That's me sort of pushing my back towards the chair, and it has a little bit of pressure there, but here's where I start to lean all the way back, and you can see it goes pretty far back. It goes further back than the Dexley, and you can also lock it in place. So as you can see right now, I'm going to be locking it in place, and I can move up and sort of it stays in that place. The Dexley cannot do that, so that's one Hyken advantage there. Then I'm bringing the chair back up, locking it, and you can see it is now locked. Overall, the chair feels really good on the butt area. You can see the back plate there. It is at the highest setting, and even for me, it feels like it's not as high. I wish it was probably 3 or 4 inches higher. I think that would be perfect for me, as it just feels it's too low. I wish I can go a little higher on that one. And this is the Dexley. So sitting down right away, you can already tell there's a lot more room where my legs are, and I'm lowering and messing with the armrest. The one thing about the Dexley's armrest is that they're very wide. I wish they were a little bit narrower because I find myself moving my arms too far apart. You can see the Recline right there. That's how far back you can get. Dexley only has one of those locks on the right, bottom right of the chair. And as it's locked, you can see I'm still not in the upright position. It's sort of like you're leaning back a bit. I wish the Dexley could put my posture up a little bit more, sort of like how I am here. Even sitting like this is really comfortable on the Dexley. That's what I do sometimes as I work. And there's a lot more leg room there, so I can cross my feet, or even if I know some people sit with their legs on the chair, that's another option you have with the Dexley as it's a little bigger. I'll do the same with the Hyken right now, so you can see. For the Hyken, you can see I can still do it, but for someone who might be as tall as I am, it's just a little harder to do. So if you're smaller, a little shorter, you might be able to, rest more comfortably with your feet on the chair. Let's go back to the Dexley. This is the highest setting. I think I'm going to go to the lowest setting there. So it gives you the option to adjust your chair as you see fit. I think for me, the highest setting is actually kind of low. It's actually lower than the Hyken. But for me, that 90-degree angle is really nice, and that's where I typically sit most days. And the one thing about the back part of the Dexley chair there is that it doesn't stay locked in place, so it'll constantly go down as I'm working. So I wish the locking mechanism of the back plate stayed. One thing about the Dexley chair, as I mentioned, once you recline, you cannot lock it in place, so it'll be reclined and it'll come up with you as you move up. You cannot lock it. And it has a little give when it's locked. You'll notice that it doesn't sort of stay up. And that's one complaint I have about the Dexley is I wish it stayed locked, and I wish the back was a little bit closer to a perfect posture. Okay, let's take a deep dive now into the chairs. We'll get a little closer and zoom in a bit. The Hyken chair here, we're going to start with the armrest. The armrests are pretty easy to move, and you have a few options. You have quite a bit of positions you can put the armrest in. It's fairly easy to press. The texture on the top is, I would say, soft, but the Dexley is probably a little softer, and you'll see in a little bit. This is the Dexley here. As you can see, it's a little bit softer, so it might be a little bit more comfortable, and it's, I would say, easier to higher and lower with that one little button. The one thing I would say about the Dexley armrests, as mentioned, is that they're very wide. So for someone like me, I wish they were right underneath my shoulder blades so that my arms can just rest easily without having to widen them out. As I feel once my elbows are widened, my posture starts to get worse. Let's look at the wheels now. These are the Hyken wheels. They're a little cheap, I would say, compared to the Dexley. I don't share with the Dexley, but take a look at the other video to see. And the Hyken has 2 locking mechanisms. The left one will let you recline and lock the recline position. The right one will let you go up and down in the chair. Whereas the Dexley chair only has one mechanism on the right, which lets you higher and lower the chair and also lock the chair if you want in that upright position, but you cannot lock it in the recline position. And you do that by pushing in. Here's the mesh of the Hyken chair, looking really nice. Here's the mesh of the Dexley chair. Nice as well. You'll notice that the mesh does not cover the full length of the chair. It's sort of stitched with the plastic there. Versus the Hyken, it covers all around the chair. And there's a foam padding there underneath at the top. Really nice and comfortable to have that there. The Hyken also has one as well. Here's the back of the Hyken. As you can see, you can move it up and down, and it's sort of easy. Once you're sitting, you can do that with both your hands, left and right, behind your back, and it's pretty easy to do it. But if you're taller, I don't think it's high enough for your back. I wish it could go higher for someone who's taller. And lastly, here's the headrest of the Dexley chair. I installed the Dexley chair headrest because it was the only one that would fit. The Hyken was just too short for me. And you can see you can move it up and down there and rotate it up and down as well. Okay, so who are these chairs for? My ultimate summary is if you're shorter than 5'10", 5'9", check out the Hyken chair. That one's gonna fit better for you. The Dexley chair would just quite frankly feel way too big. But if you're bigger than 5'10", 5'11", I would say check out the Dexley. This one might give you more space, more room to feel comfortable. Both chairs are retailing around $150 or less. You know, sometimes they have deals. You can get them for $130 or less. The best part about these chairs is that if you don't like it, you can return it at Staples. I would say both chairs aren't perfect. For example, the perfect chair for me would be probably a mixture of the Dexley's seat and back plate with the Hyken's posture upright sitting of the back, the Recline lock, and the better back plate because that back plate can lock. I also really like the Hyken's armrest width. It was wide enough so that my shoulders could lean back and my elbows could rest really softly on the armrest. With the Dexley chair, my elbows had to be a little bit wider than I would have liked. Ultimately, I ended up going with the Dexley again just because it was better fit for my height. I hope this helps you make your decision. Best of luck, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below.